Financial freedom doesn't exist, actually. I mean, it does if you're okay with like exploiting people's labor, and ultimately what it comes down to is slave labor. Sure, you can be financially free, but I would argue that there isn't really a whole lot to be proud of when you're making money hand over fist while standing on the backs of people who are actually making you the money. Now, this isn't me saying that all businesses screw over their employees and things like that. No, I'm just talking at like a massive corporate level for one, but also the space of online business opportunities. Okay, so here's what I mean. You have these gurus online. There's a whole bunch of them. For sake of not getting in trouble, I'm just not going to say any names, but think of the biggest name in sales right now. Think of the biggest name in digital marketing right now. Think of the biggest name in self-development right now. Okay, think of those big names, and you're going to be thinking about the same people I'm thinking of. Um, those guys constantly preach this whole financial freedom thing. They get online in their ads and they brag about their financially free life, but I'm going to tell you this right now. They're not actually financially free. Um, and what I mean by that is that if they stop coaching, their money stops overnight. Most of these digital marketers, gurus that you see teaching digital marketing, they don't really have any real clients. They might have clients in the coaching space, that they're friends with. I'm thinking of a specific guy off the top of my head. Um, you might have those, but as far as like digital marketers really working with small businesses, not realistic. Your Amazon FBA gurus that are like, oh yeah, have an Amazon FBA store, you'll make all this money. If they stop coaching tomorrow, they don't have any money because they don't really have a working store. Probably because they used a bunch of shady methods that they're teaching you guys that have gotten their store suspended. So, although they may have had 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years of success, their store eventually got shut down. So they're just like, screw it, I'm just going to go ahead and teach a program and hopefully make money off of that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is they're not actually financially free. They're tied to you. If they don't show up for you, then eventually their money's going to fade. One way that they try to get around this with their programs is they'll show up religiously for like 2 or 3 years, probably, doing all their coaching calls, X, Y, and Z. But then they'll make so much money where they try to, outsource the coaching, so to speak. Maybe hire a couple successful students to kind of take over the coaching role, and they take more of a back seat. But when they do that, the money starts to dwindle because then you get reviews online about how the actual guru is not showing up. You only see him in the funnel, and then you become another run of the mill program. Most of the money comes from coaching. And I've seen like absolutely disgusting amounts of money come from the coaching space. But it just comes from a lot of misguided mentors who aren't actually free. And credit to Benjamin John Mike for the misguided mentors thing. That's a phrase he's coined, or a name he's coined, for a lot of the gurus in this space, because they are financially tied to those businesses that they are actually spending quite a bit of time on in one way or another. So they're not actually free. What's real financial freedom? Think, you know, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all these like actually like uber wealthy people, they're financially free. They have all the time on the world. They dictate everything. A lot of those a lot of the gurus that are, really rich, successful, wealthy, sure they're wealthy in an everyday sense, but they're not really wealthy from like a, say, world like changing sense. I mean, Warren Buffett could decimate a lot of things if he wanted to. George Soros is decimating a lot of things. Like, those are the real types of wealthy. Those are the real financially free, right? These online gurus, they're not really. I mean, most of them actually have a whole lot of money problems. There's a certain Amazon FBA guru who I don't think has been doing any kind of coaching for a little while now. I think because of the FTC. But there's like a certain name that rhymes with like Smevin, that has a similar middle name to me, kind of like David. You know, if you want to put like two and two together here, what I'm trying to kind of say. He is like so loaded down in debt. A lot of these gurus are actually loaded down in debt. It's crazy. I mean, there's this Instagram page. I think it's called Baller Busters or something like that. Pretty catchy name, if I'm being honest. Like they're exposing how these gurus are renting these mansions. Like they're not actually owning these mansions. They're just renting them, and they're moving from place to place to place. Maybe because they can't afford it 1 month, so then they downsize a little bit, say that they're doing some kind of mindset shift, and then they're in a big place next month because they had like a really good month. Or they're just Airbnb in all these places. Like, guys, the real wealthy in the world, they're not going to be doing videos behind like one of them staircase mansions that you see in movies. Like, there's a reason why it's kind of reserved for movies and film, is it looks good, it advertises well, but that's not real wealth. Guys, I work in a car dealership now, and I can tell you this much. The people coming in, driving the nicest car, wearing the flashiest clothes, those people are the most strapped versus the guys that are in blue jeans, overalls, and a beat-up truck. Those are the guys that actually have the money. So it's like, real wealth doesn't flaunt. Fake wealth always flaunts. And that's where a lot of these gurus are. They're not really financially free. They are directly tied to their business, and if they stop coaching, or they get forced legally to stop coaching, all that money goes away, because that's where 90% of their money comes from. They're not really as diversified as you think. You hear them say all the time, oh, you need to have multiple sources of income. Well, to them, multiple sources of income typically means like multiple different coaching products, right? But that's still all under like one umbrella. They're not necessarily diversified into stocks, diversified into real estate, diversified into this business or that business, this franchise, that franchise. Most of them never are, and it's pretty clear in their lifestyle if they're constantly bouncing around. So just some food for thought here this evening. If you guys have any questions or want to add anything more to the comments below, go for it. And go ahead and like this video, share, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.